Hi again. Yesterday we were working with solid figures. We talked about a cube. I was so excited. I searched my house and I found an example of one. This is the top of a perfume bottle, but it is a cube. We talked about rectangular prism. Remember I showed you my Wheat Thins box being a rectangular prism. We talked about a sphere, which is every ball that you have. We talked about a cylinder, which is all your canned foods. And we talked about a cone, which would be your ice cream cone, maybe a birthday party hat, if you have anything like that. If you have examples of these around your house, be a really good thing to go get them and look at them. If you don't worry about it because you'll clearly see mine. So today we're going to talk about flat surfaces and corners. So remember yesterday we talked about plane shapes and solid figures. So a plane shape is just a square, a triangle, a circle, and a rectangle. But the solid figures have depth and they actually take up space. So today, when we look at our solid figures, we're going to look at how many flat surfaces and how many corners or vertices we have. So another word, so you know what a corner is. When you bang your head on it, it really hurts. That corner, another word for that is a vertex. And if you have more than one, you have vertices. So when we look at these shapes, we're going to say, well, how many flat surfaces does it have? Well, if this is the front, I have front, side, back, side. That's 4. Top and bottom is 6. So I have 6 flat surfaces. Now I want to know how many corners or how many vertices I have. Well, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 here. I'm going to hold them. And then guess what I have on the other side? 1, 2, 3, 4 corners there. So if I have 4 corners here and 4 corners there, how many corners do I have? 8. If you have a cube at home, try it so you can actually see. I know this is hard to see because it's black and shiny, but 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. I have my fingers on them, and then I'll put my 4 fingers on those corners there so you can see the 8 vertices or corners. Okay? Now let's look at this sphere. How many flat surfaces does it have? 0. There are no flat surfaces on a sphere. How many corners are there? Well, a corner is where 2 flat surfaces meet. We don't have any. So a sphere has 0 flat surfaces and 0 corners. And a corner is where 4 pieces meet, or lines or edges or flat surfaces. We'll get into that tomorrow more. So the next one is a cylinder. When you look at the cylinder, now this is not the best of examples because they have decided to make cans have lips, which some do, some don't. But this is considered a flat surface, and this is considered a flat surface. So the top and bottom is a flat surface. So we have 2 flat surfaces, but there are no corners or vertices because it's round and rolls. So this is 0. So you can see that there are differences in the solid figures already with how many flat surfaces and how many vertices or corners we have. I'll put this right on top so we can see it all. So open it up and let's look at the inside. And across the top it says, some solid figures have flat surfaces. You can see the rectangular prism, the cube, the cylinder, and the cone. Those are all flat surfaces. A sphere doesn't have a flat surface, and we talked about that. Solid figures that don't roll have vertices or corners. A cube has 8 vertices, and we saw that. Some solid figures that roll do not have vertices, like a cylinder and a sphere, but a cone has one vertex. That's the odd one, doesn't follow the rest of the rules. Just like everything else we talk about, there's an exception. So it says, use the solid figures to complete the table. So here's our solid figure. Here's our rectangular prism. How many flat surfaces does it have? Well, it has front, side, back, side, 4, top, and bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just like a cube. A rectangular prism and a cube have the same number of flat surfaces and the same number of vertices or corners. Because look, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4. And when we turn it over, we have 5, 6, 7, 8. So just like the cube, the rectangular prism has 8 vertices. Do you understand? If you're not sure, go back and watch this video. Just this time, just go through and watch it. And the second time, watch it again and actually do the work. I promise you'll get it. Let's look at the cylinder. How many flat surfaces does the cylinder have? Well, it has a top and it has a bottom. So it has 2. How many vertices or corners? Well, do you see any corners? I don't see any. 0. Then we have our cone. How many flat surfaces does it have? Right there. There's its one flat surface. And how many vertices does it have? It has 1 vertex. And then we get to the number 4, which is the sphere. How many flat surfaces do you see? 0. How many vertices or corners do you see? 0. It says, can 2 different figures have the same number of flat surfaces and vertices? Yes, they can. And we proved that, right? We have a cube and rectangular prism. They have the same number of flat surfaces and the same number of vertices. Okay? Your turn. I'm going to give you a minute. Here's the object. How many number of flat surfaces? How many corners or vertices? I want you to do numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you're not sure about the drum is a cylinder, and that top is a cone. I'll give you a minute. This is a fun thing to do when you're walking around your house. I went on a real hunt trying to find that cube to look at the things I could use from around my house to do this. I'll give you another minute before we move on. Okay, let's look. Number 5, well, it's a soccer ball, but it's really, which solid figure is it? Are you saying sphere? If you're saying sphere, you are correct. So how many flat surfaces? 0. How many vertices? 0. How about the cube? Do you remember? Did you double check? You should have 6 flat surfaces and 8 vertices or corners. The next one is the drum, which is like your cylinder. So the top and bottom are the flat sides. So that's 2 flat sides, and there are 0 vertices or corners. And the last one is the cone. You have to use your imagination a little bit on that one. But there is 1 flat surface and there is 1 vertex. How'd you do? Good job, good job. Okay, write the name of the shape that continues the pattern. Look at the pattern. What do you think goes next? And it says write the name. So don't draw it, write the name. Did you write sphere and spell it correctly, which is right up here? S-P-H-E-R-E. Sphere. Sphere. Good job. Okay, let's turn to the back. Problem solving. It says use the clues to answer each question. So there are all your solid figures. I have 2 flat surfaces. I have no vertices. What am I? Well, I know they have 6 flat surfaces, 6 flat surfaces, 0. There it is, cylinder. So C-Y-L-I-N-D-E-R, cylinder. Is that what you got? Good job. Good job. All right, you ready? Here they are again. I have no flat surfaces. I have no vertices. What solid figure am I? Yell it out. What do you think? Did you yell sphere? S-P-H-E-R-E. Great job. Good. Number 12. I have 6 flat surfaces. I have 8 vertices. Which solid figure am I? And they're not asking us to look up there. They are giving us 4 examples. It is C, rectangular prism. How'd you do? Good job, good job. Okay, so for your homework, I have asked you to just do page 121 and send me a picture. But I would say the best way to do this, don't just copy from here. You're not going to understand it. Look around your house. Try to find an example of a cube, a rectangular prism, a sphere, a cylinder, and a cone. Put them in front of you and make out this chart. You can go ahead and just copy from what we did here, but you're not going to understand it, and then you're going to have trouble when it comes time to take the test. If you actually put the objects in front of you, right in front of you, and touch them, find the flat surfaces, find the vertices, it will be very, very helpful to you. Okay? Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.